and welcome. I'm Olga Jevtich, Miss Virginia Senior America 2003, and this is Fashion Notes. Recently, I went to Boston to visit my sister and her family and had a wonderful surprise. They took me to the Museum of Fine Arts, where there was the most wonderful exhibit they call Fashion Show. The exhibit was composed of 10 individual designers, an actual video of fashion presentation from Paris, 2006 collection. I did like especially Valentino and Lacroix because it was a special treat for me thanks to my sister and brother-in-law. Now, spring fashion trends 2007. There are lots of florals, polka dots, stripes, which we did not see since 60s and 70s. Some of the things look like vintage store fonts. Florals are big and oversized abstract flowers on chiffon mini dresses. Again, black and white. Opposite attracts, of course. There is the most classic combination, especially if you proportion some volume over skinny or vice versa. They all come in very many different fabrics, like very light fabrics, knits, cotton, and linens. Shine on metallics. They are here to stay in any form, especially accessories, and not only for evening. Also, we see lots of ruffles, pleats, lace, and tailored clothing. High hemline. The skirts were short, some very short. Mostly when they hit the stores, hemlines will be longer. Draping and lots of gather fabric to create body skimming volume. Marc Jacobs had lots of draped dresses, tip-dyed in rainbow of colors like blue, purple, and pink. Many of us need at least a couple of good business suits for work or special occasion. Shop at the end of the season for big sale, and fabric and fits are most important to consider. More tips and more news from the runways around the world in our next shows. Now is the time to go shopping. Happy shopping! And now I have a special guest to introduce to you. I met her at the craft show and was very, very impressed with her handbag design. I love handbags, and I think it's never enough with handbags. No matter how many you have to have one extra. Anytime you see something absolutely fabulous. Her name is Renee Michel, and she's here today, and we are going to have a models. So sit there, relax, and enjoy her beautiful, beautiful thing. Renee, Jeanne, unusual name, of course. Welcome to the show, and it was good that you came today. She came all over from the other side of the river, from
College Park.
Yes, from Maryland, to come here. But of course, our show is now running in Maryland and in Arlington County, so she can be seen, everywhere. How did you start working on the handbags? Did you just one day you needed one and you just made one, or you just had some vision that you can really produce many different interesting handbags?
In general, my relationship with the bag has kind of had a life of its own. They've changed very much through the years. But I give a lot of credit to my grandma, because she always told me, don't throw away any scraps.
I see.
She had lived through the Depression. They'd keep anything bigger than a postage stamp. They would keep to make into a quilt.
That's good idea. And you told me you started working with the coats, making coats first.
I did. I made many custom coats for people. And like my grandma said, I kept all the scraps, and they were beautiful mohairs and cashmeres and all sorts of nice
good
textures.
fabric.
And then I just started playing, collaging them, and that's.
So what did you make first from all these little scraps?
The first thing I made was a bag, and it was pretty unimpressive, if I say so myself. It was a simple bag with a flap, and No pockets, no lining, no nothing. But it was a bag, and it was $35.
Okay, well, that's good. And then, you know, you have some unusual vintage fabric that you will see later on her bag, that she is collecting on the vintage fabric, and she puts them together with interesting details, and they absolutely do not look like a handmade. And I'm sure now you have so much experience, you know, to do interesting and more complicated job. And also you go to all these craft show where you show.
I do. I make my living at selling at Eastern Market on Saturdays in the district. At the Torpedo Factory, I have a studio. And then I also do some craft shows like where we met.
Yes, when I met you. So in Torpedo Factory, you go there and every day and work, you know? Or?
No, it's still not my primary studio. I share it with a couple jewelers. And so I'm there a couple days a week.
So you mostly have a studio at home and you work at home. Do you have any help?
I do. I have one wonderful helper, Anne-Marie Sariba. And her and I have worked together for 5 or 6 years now.
I think it's very difficult to find some people to work with you, because when you have some idea, by the time you explain how to do it, you probably can do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't necessarily do things that I couldn't do. She just helps me be able to produce more bags. And I still oversee the design process, but then she can help me with some of the stitching.
So what do you do? Do you design first, or do you already have fabric, and then whatever you have on your fabric, then you design the purse? How do you do it? What comes first?
What I do is go to the thrift stores a lot and often, and dig through everything. And I don't see dresses and drapes. I see purses.
You have purses. That's right. The finished product you see when you see the fabric.
And what I see is the quality of the fabric. Even if it's a garment, that's what I'm interested in: the quality of the garment and the colors and design and texture.
I see. Oh, well, that's very important, because, you know, otherwise the handbag will not hold the shape if you have some, you know, not very good fabric.
Right.
Yeah, I see. But I can see the lots of vintage fabric that you're using, that you see draperies as a purses, or quilts as a purses, or anything you see in your head is purses, purses, and purses. Well, now you're going to see what we are talking about. We have some models, and they're going to show you most wonderful design, what she's created. May we have the first model, please? Here is Sonia. Tell us what kind of combination of fabric in this one.
She's carrying a winter bag.
Oh, this is a winter?
For a previous season. It's a wool bag, which is wonderful. Wool wears very well. The colored fabrics, usually the panel that I use on the left side kind of gives me a guide of what colors to go with. And so that...
They're very complementary colors that you're using. And the details, she has also the pocket on the other side, which I absolutely love pockets on the other side, you know, to put your gloves or glasses or things like that. Here is Laura. Let's see Laura, what she's having. Purplish colors.
This is a wool boucle, and I bought it. It was a skirt. And then I did a process they call shibori to texture it, to give it all those little bumps. And people always wonder if the bumps are stuffed, but there's actually...
Can you turn the purse on the other side so people can see how it's beautifully done? Also, you can wear it really on both sides, because they are beautifully done on both sides with lots of details. And inside there are pockets, and also she has some little funny writing inside. This is one of a kind. Thank you, Laura. Okay, we have two pretty ladies coming with the two different designs. This is Yvonne and Sonia, and they are like more summery. What do you think? They're more summery?
Oh, yes,
design?
those are their summer bags. The one on the right that she's putting on her arm is made from old drapery, and I just found it very comical, because the kitchen drapes usually has spices and things like that. And this one has frankfurters and salmon and all sorts of odd foods.
And you have a pretty button. Also, it's a vintage button there.
An old button.
Old button that you can use for closing of the purses. Thank you, ladies. It was lovely. What she's going to think next? Well, I have to point out to this one that I did like very much. If you camera can point to this little picture. This is picture of her when she was a little girl. She carried a purse, and now this is her signature that she have on each bag, and I think it's a very pretty. And also on this bag, there is a pocket, and it's absolutely beautifully done. I don't think you can see it inside, but it's all lined, and it has a this little, how do you call this?
Oh, buckle.
Old buckle, yes, old buckle. So she incorporate old and new. And this is how she does. It makes a very one-of-a-kind things. Okay, we have more. Don't go away. We have more bags. See,
they're both bags from the summer collection this year, and both are collages of linen napkins, drapery, old velvets, and they're made. I like them to be beautiful, but I like them to be functional also.
Oh, absolutely. Function is very important. And also she used old buckles too, which are really interesting and different. So you don't find it at your regular store, anything like that. That's why I always said we have to support our artists, and because they are doing absolutely fantastic job. And sometimes I really sound like a broken record, trying to tell you that we have so many wonderful talents in Washington area, and as you can see, difference, what she's doing. They don't come in your neighborhood store. You cannot find anything like that, and especially they're one of a kind. Thank you very much. When do you work usually, at night, or when do you have the best idea that come to you?
I love to be up in those late night hours.
Most artists like, to work at night. Oh, tell us about this red bag.
Okay, it's also a combination of things. It's bark cloth on the back. I can see, actually, she wants to show the back. There's a little motif on the
back,
cloth.
yeah. Good, so you can wear it on both sides.
And
it's equally perfect.
Just a combination of linens and silks and different fabrics that'll hold up and also, I think, look beautiful together.
Oh, yes, definitely. Again, we have Sonia and Yvonne with black and white, and they're in different style, but the same fabric. Is that right? What was here before? What was the garment before?
These two fabrics are unusual, but I've made a series of bags that are screen prints from a woman named Florence Broadhurst. She lived in Australia, and she died in the 70s. And they just recently have recovered all of her old screens and started to screen her fabric again.
And so how did you get hold of her fabric?
I got to go to Australia, actually, and got to see the warehouse. And
so that was a good excuse to go to Australia.
Very good. Also, my mom got married, so that made it in Australia. So that made it a little more
Also, you hit
feasible.
2 things to do with one, one trip. Also, beside the bags, she made the skirts, as you can see. Those are linen, I believe. And how did you embroider on machine?
I just zigzagged over some different yarns. I really like it when things meander, and I like it when things have an answer.
And the wraparound skirts are really they can just fit anybody. Is that
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I have different sizes, but they're they're able to fit a wide variety of people.
And they're absolutely beautiful. You did a great job.
Thank you.
So I don't know what you're going to think about next.
I don't either.
So I'm sure you always have some new idea how to do it and what to do it.
I'm thinking a lot about coats, which is funny because I haven't made
You
coats.
started from the coats, and so it's like a circle.
I think
You just
so.
go back to coats. So what kind of coat? Something also from the old fabric, or you know, just a, you know.
I'm thinking about, I'm really interested in wardrobes being very useful and not limited.
Well, you can
So-
see what she's doing. I would like to thank her so much for coming here today from other side of the river, from Maryland, to come here and to show you all her beautiful thing that she did. And I hope you appreciate it. And I hope you go to all this craft show and see wonderful artists with the wonderful, wonderful different design what they're doing. Thank you
Oh, you're so
very,
welcome.
very much for coming today, and sharing your beautiful thing. This is really nice.
Thank you for having me.
It was, you know, wonderful to see you. As I promised you, we have another artist, super, super talented lady with us today, and I don't know where to start first because she's multi-talented in many areas, and you will see me are surrounded by most beautiful object you ever seen in your life. And her name is Miss Sam Berry, and she's here today, and her business is called L'Atelier de Ceramique. And welcome, Ms. Berry. It's
Thanks.
a pleasure to have you here today. And as you can see, all these most beautiful things that she made by hand. This is what I'm stressing all the time. People don't use their hands very much. Everything is done by machine. And when something is made by hand, I am most impressed. How did you get the idea to get to, do you start with ceramics first, or you did to do something artistic before? How
No,
did
I
you
did.
start it?
I started painting oil.
Oh,
long
as a
time ago.
painter.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, I had a talent for painting.
So did you do like a realistic, like a
Yes.
paysages?
Yes, paysage.
Uh-huh.
And then I started with watercolor after oil. And then I started traveling. I grew up in Lebanon, so I started traveling to Europe, to the Far East, and I fell in love with batik. So I thought I want to improvise and start playing with batik. And then I married my husband, who's American, and he's in the foreign service. So we started traveling. We lived all over the world. When we lived in Spain, this is when I discovered the ceramics, and I found it actually very commercial. After I bought few things for the house, and then when we moved to El Salvador, I thought there is no life there. So, I mean, it was a culture shock. Let me do something. So this is when I sat and started painting ceramic, and I thought it's going to be very easy, like painting oil, but it's totally different.
So, but did you take some courses? Perhaps,
yes, definitely. And I thought that this is why I thought it's going to be very easy. Because oil, you make a mistake, you paint over it, and it's easy. Yeah, you know, you fix it. But when you paint on ceramics, to get those intense,
if you make a mistake, this is it.
That's it. When you want to get all these intense, beautiful colors, you paint 3 times. Like in this painting, the lady, you have to paint it the first time, and you put 3 coats.
So do you have a sketch, and then you do it by the sketch?
When it is something like this, yes, you have a sketch. But when it is a flower,
you do
it's freehand. It's freehand. When it is abstract, it's more difficult than a flower. Because
is it?
A flower, you know, it's a flower. You have it visualized in your head.
Yes.
But when it is abstract, then you sit in front of that piece and you don't know what to do with it. You know, you're discovering the colors. Do I put this color? Does this color, you know, the mariage of colors together? And same thing when you're making the piece, like this one, you know, it's all by hand. What pieces do you want to add and what you want to put?
You know, the fish.
The fish is the same thing. Even if someone wants a dozen of the same fish, although I have 4 designs, if they want a dozen of this, it's impossible. It's, you know, the mood that at that time when I'm painting that fish.
Yes, you're not in mood
It
for
will
orange.
not. It will not be the same design, even if they're, the same colors, but they will be different tone of blue.
But this is then you can tell it's not machine made.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
This
This makes the beauty of
absolutely.
handmade.
Look at all these sets.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This yellow. This is absolutely fantastic.
What really
color.
gave me the courage to start with this is that the first set I made with that, we had a bazaar for the diplomatic ladies and the French ambassador.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a lady, and her husband wanted to give her a gift for their wedding anniversary, and he placed an order. And all the other ladies at the embassy, I made 60 of those for the French embassy.
And beside all the ceramic, we have a ladies. They're going to. She does jewelry too. May me see the first model, please? I would love. She makes jewelry. And this is you start doing it after you did ceramic pieces.
Oh yes.
This is the newest thing
yes.
you're doing right now.
Yes, ceramic. I've been doing ceramics now for almost 8 years. With the beads and the jewelry, it's been only 2.5 years.
I see.
With the beads, I became a member of the Bead Society.
I would like to show everything what she's doing, because she does so many different things, and I would like you to see everything what she's
the
doing.
first to the left, the heart is made out of ceramic and painted with 24 karat gold, and the white beads are genuine Botswana snow white agate, and the clasp is vermeil. To the right, the necklace is ceramic. Let me see. Yes, it's a ceramic frame, and the bead that is dangling in the center, it's also a ceramic bead, but it is 24 white carat.
And you can wear it with something very plain. And
it is very modern. It is very modern. Yes,
extremely
it's something
modern.
unique and different.
So now you made the plates and all kind of accessories, and then you move to jewelry. So what is the next?
God knows. I would like to do something new every year. So I don't know. Started with the jewelry 2 years ago, and now I started. This is new with the beads. I joined the Bead Society and the Bead Museum. This is another piece with sea beads, and then the focal bead is made of ceramic, hand painted. And you can wear this, evening as well as during the day.
Oh yeah, it's a very, very classic.
Most of my jewelry could be worn, for different occasions.
Absolutely.
This is very young, very
piece.
teenager. It's made of all ceramics. The round circles are black agates, and the metal is copper. It's all handmade.
And how do you make it to be exactly the same beads?
The same beads.
Some of the beads must be difficult, to do, because you have to be the same.
It's only recently that I found out that there is a place who sells the beads. They import them, and I found beads that are round.
See.
But when I started making each one by hand, and they were all irregular, and this is what I loved about it.
But that's
they
true.
were all irregular.
Irregular. They're
yes.
very pretty, interesting necklaces. Actually, this is really for any age. Everybody wears it differently.
This necklace is made of genuine. This is a cherry quartz, and the focal bead is a ceramic bead with 24 karat yellow gold.
I see.
And the beads on both sides are vermeil beads.
Lovely. Can we see another model? We are running almost out of time. would like you to see
Yeah.
most beautiful
Yeah,
things. And I would
these
like,
earrings are also ceramic earrings.
I would like to
If you
thank
turn it a little bit, they're
very, very much
red,
for
red
coming
and hand
today
dyed. Thank
and
you so
showing all
much.
these beautiful, beautiful things. And I am going to repeat again that we have so many interesting artists living in our area, like Miss Sam Berry and her beautiful ceramics. And I would like to thank her very much
Thank
for
you so
coming
much
today
for having me here.
and showing. So, and thank you very much for watching our show. And we try to find very interesting local artists to show and enjoy, so you can enjoy all this beautiful, beautiful design, and you cannot find in regular store. Those are just one-of-a-kind, beautiful things. It was a pleasure to have you
Thank you.
today, and
Thank
I
you so
hope
much.
good luck with your design. Bye-bye.